Tonight, wrestling fans witnessed a Triple H-led invasion of our nation's capital, while Chris Irvine, his stupid twat wife, and the mother-in-law were saying, "It should have been me!" But anyway, I'm John Renton with my review of WWE Raw from Washington, D.C. I have a question. Why did the U.S. Championship not close the show? That's how you close your goddamn show? I'm not saying everything's going to be perfect, and I think there are going to be a lot of issues with Triple H leading creative, but he at least understands how to present wrestling and to present wrestlers, as a promo demonstrated. We are back to seeing wrestlers and wrestling on a wrestling show with wrestlers in a wrestling ring wearing wrestling tights in a company called World Wrestling Entertainment. Wrestling is at least back to being said on WWE television. Thank fuck. So, Judgment Day kicks off. Rhea Ripley, my fucking goodness, looks fucking incredible. Priest yells about facing Edge. Balor said, "End that coffin." I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And Rhea, just my fucking goodness, Rhea. She can pull off any goddamn look. Next week, they're going to be in Toronto. It's Priest versus Edge. They're building this up like a pay-per-view match. It's funny they're making this like, the veteran meeting, upstart, and Priest is 37 and Edge is 48. I mean, there's not that much of an age difference, but nevertheless. Rey shows up, attacks attacks both guys, and then Rhea just stares him down. It's like, haha, I took out your son. I choked your son with my thighs. It should have been me. And I choked out your son. I beat your son down. Thank God Dominic wasn't here. That's good. No Dominic on Raw is always good. No Dominic in a WWE ring would be even better, but I digress. Basically Eric Watts without the charisma, but nevertheless, Rhea just stares him down, and they're teasing this idea that he is going to eventually hit a 619 on Rhea. You take the one out, and that's all I'm going to say. But he even has a chair. Oh my God, he's beating him down, but then he gets DDT'd on the chair. And that was it. Just gets DDT'd on the chair. It was fucking hilarious. Absolutely fucking hilarious. And of course, I did say, please drill me like that, Rhea. I have issues. Now, the stomp, they put the chair on Rey's chest, and Balor does that stomp, and I know Balor's a safe worker, but there is no way to pull up on that. So it's like, Rey, I hope those treatments have worked, because here, boom, we're just going to crush your 45-year-old ribs. Who was that blonde EMT? Christ. Anyway, we go to Asuka and Alexa versus Nikki Ash and Piper Niven. Quarterfinal match for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Asuka having to carry the goddamn thing here because Nikki is about as good as she's ever going to be. And quite frankly, I don't think it's invested in this. Piper is just not very good. And Alexa sucks in a ring. She just fucking sucks. Doesn't even look like she could hurt air. Doesn't look like she could damage anything. She couldn't even punch through rice paper. But Bianca was down in the corner. There in the corner of Asuka and Alexa because just in case Control decided to come out. And Asuka gets the Asuka lock and gets the victory. Match is fine. Dana, by the way, was about 5 inches from that TV. Seriously, Dana, don't fucking watch TV like that. Tamina just wanted to throw the TV down some stairs, much like her dad threw Nancy Argentino down some stairs. That's unfair. It's not Tamina's fault, but fuck Jimmy Snuka. I'm glad he's dead. So, and then Control shows up. And they just stare down and, oh no, we're going to get a brawl, but the people get in the way. Thank God, because I know that they're trying to heat this thing up. But doing brawls between the same people, doing brawls in general multiple times on a show does start to get a little bit annoying. I don't care if you're WWE, you're New Japan, you're AEW, Impact, I don't care what company you are. You have to space this shit out because otherwise you're just throwing shit out there. It's the same stuff. And then if it actually is going to mean something in a hot feud, then it just ends up feeling hollow. So anyway, Theory is still here. I do want to say I feel bad that Theory apparently had some recent time off. He lost his uncle. Obviously, if he needed time off, his uncle meant something to him. I feel bad. And, hopefully family, friends, everybody, knew the uncle can, pay memorial, however, and just move on as best they can. Well, keeping the memories alive. There you go. But Theory was there, and here's Ziggler. They remember they had a feud going for about 2 weeks. And then we have a veteran fisting a young boy on camera in Washington, D.C. News at 11. So, We were still brawling when they came back from break, and there was a hand outside the exit door, or inside the exit door. It is Loomis. More on that later. So, recaps of Champa being unable to deep throat the U.S. champion, because that's how I'm going to save the throne, because I'm mature. Miz then smells collusion in our nation's capital. I mean, that's just funny. That's just funny right there. Right after the whole raid of Mar-a-Lago. And by the way, that was really, justifiable thing and everything. And if people still support that goddamn criminal, you're fucking assholes. You don't fucking deserve to even be on this planet. So, let's get back to... Oh boy, Ali and Cedric teaming up. And I like Ali and Cedric. They are two underutilized talents. They will continue to be underutilized. They're taking on Miz and Champa. Boy, this Miz-Champa thing just is not working. It's not working to me. I'm sorry. I don't think it's working. There are some people that like it. That's okay. It's different. I'll give them that much credit. But Ciampa's wearing gear so goddamn bright that a blind guy that's been dead for 2 centuries would be able to hear and smell and see it somehow. Where's the cool spot where Ali went to do a 450. Ciampa hit a drop kick as Ali was rotating down. And fairy tale ending 1, 2, 3. That was a cool finish. I'll say that much. And Miz was bleeding from the nose. I hope Miz is all right. He was his nose was a little busted. And then we cut to Ezekiel in a hospital. They said hospital. And his dad was talking. This is bad, and whoever put this together should feel bad. So, Drew's backstage. And then there was some crew was putting out a flaming garbage can. Gee, I wonder who did that. So, we see more from the Mania 39 on sale thing at whatever stadium that is in LA, where the Rams and Chargers, I believe, play. And there are any more people to play to justify the fact that that thing costs billions of dollars. But this is all thanks, of course, to Mayor James T. Butts. I'm sorry, but who's running for election? Well, we've got to put butts in seats. God, Shivani should fucking, do something with his campaign. But anyway, here's Drew, mic in hand. He wants to hear DC cream. I think I said that right. He is dealing with a back injury. He wants to win a Clash at the Castle, and he wants to face everybody. Wants to literally face everybody. He was fired up here. He wants to face every goddamn person. Raw, SmackDown, it's going to be live events, all that stuff. Yes, he is dealing with a back injury, but that's because he's been carrying a load of 20 men for the last few years. I was also known as Sunny's Mindset while she was in WWE. Hope that dumb twat burns in hell for the rest of her goddamn... Well, burns in jail, or, rots in jail and then burns in hell. Because she's had chance after chance after chance, and she's a fucking goddamn scumbag. But he's carrying the load, holding in the load of 20 men. I was an expert in that. So, here's Kevin Owens. And he's tired of basically being overlooked. He mentions how this building was when him and Sami Zayn had a match. It was Battleground 2016, the last Clash. And they're going to end up teaming up and facing the Usos, aren't they? More on the Usos here in a bit. So, enough is enough, and it's time for a change. I've tried to be a nice guy. Good channeling of Owen Hart there, the late great Owen Hart. And Drew just went the fuck off. He was just like, I was the chosen one. Wherever I got fired, I had to work my ass off to get back here and work up and beat Brock Lesnar, Goldberg, beat everybody and everything. And I am going to win the championship, and I'm going to do this. And just the fact that he was so fucking motivated here, that's something he wanted to get off his chest. You could see the weight lifted off his shoulders. That was some good shit right there. And then he said, we're wrestlers on a wrestling show in a wrestling ring. Let's wrestle. You're on, Owens says. They have a match where they beat the shit out of each other safely. I think Owens was really taking care of Drew just in case Drew does have a back injury. They tease some spots while avoiding having Drew take way too much stuff. Owens was taking most of the impact while making it look good, as Owens is known to do. There was a frog splash for 2. Super air raid crash for 2. That was pretty good. And, some good big moves and near falls. And then the Usos caused a DQ. And then I believe it was Jay that tumbled on Jimmy or whatever. Maybe they were a little punch drunk, as the Usos are known to be. And stunner to Drew. And then Owen says, tell your tribal chief he owes me one. And then the Usos try to beat down Drew. And then one gets kicked down and tumbles over. So there you go. was pretty good so far. Here's Seth Pheasant Rollins, Franklin Pheasant Rollins. That's what I'm just going to call him right now. I don't know how much thought he put into his wardrobe, but more would have helped. He talks about Riddle and everything, and just, he's tired of Riddle, and Riddle's going to announce his retirement. And then Riddle shows up and then says, well, I'm always 2 steps ahead, is what Rollins says. Riddle says he's medically cleared. Oh boy, God, just what I want to see, more Matt Riddle on my goddamn screen. And, you know, if you were here, I'd stomp your head in, Rollins says. And then Riddle says, well, I'm not in my mom's basement, I'm here. And he runs out, and they have a bit of a brawl where Rollins eventually gets sent over the barricade, and then Riddle chases after him, and he gets halfway up the stairs, like, oh no, he's all the way up the stairs, there's no way you're going to catch him now. And Riddle just stops, probably because he saw food, because he's high, so he probably got hungry. So, there you go. Riddle then tells Steve Patrick that he's going to face Rollins in the UK. Clash at the Castle, by the way. High package on Lashley versus Styles, making mid-card championships seem important because we were stupid enough to unify our 2 world titles. And now, and there's nothing against Roman, but they don't have a champion that's going to show up on every single goddamn show. It's stupid to unify them, and it's even stupider now. Speaking of Clash at the Castle, I do want to say right now it is looking likely that I will not be able to watch that live due to the fact that it's on a Saturday, and since it's on UK time, I'm going to be working, so I'm probably going to have to watch that on delay. I'll update you guys in other reviews. Veer then beat some tall guy. I don't know what the hell his name was. It's not that it's not nothing against the guy, but this took a bit too long. I guess they're trying to rehabilitate Veer because, you know, he kept coming for so many months, and he finally came over a whole bunch of guys. He came over Rey and Dominic. I mean, that's a father-son combination you really don't want to go with. And then he came over a guy's back and got the victory. Nothing against Veer, nothing against Sangha. It just feels like they're both stuck. Like, maybe you should reunite them. But then again, because they're trying to make them singles, and I don't know if this is going to work, because I don't know if creators really sold on them. So, Dakota is cutting a promo, sees Dana, talks to Dana. Dana tries to rebut. Tries. She really does. Get rid of the 24/7 championship, Triple H. Please. Please, for the love of God. It was pointless to begin with. It's pointless now. So, and Lashley versus AJ Styles for the U.S. Championship. Good stuff. For the first time ever. I encourage you guys to go check this out. I will say that this didn't click as well as I thought it would, but then again, that could have been down to a couple things. It could have been down to the crowd kind of bubbling up to get used to it. These guys were feeling each other out, which sounded a lot less sturdy in my head before I said it. The combined age of these guys, by the way, is about 90, which I find hilarious because they're both still premier performers. Styles is still really good. Lashley's a fucking beast. He looks great. Don't you dare bring Leo Rush back and put him with Lashley, or I'm going to have to basically tune out Lashley matches because I can't fucking stand Leo Rush in the ring. I don't want to see him anymore. And he'll just retire again because he's burned out. And some people are not mentally equipped and physically equipped to handle the travel in wrestling. And if you're not, that's fine. It's tough. Some people flame out. Nothing wrong with that. But anyway, I don't want to see Leo as part of this. So, well worked as expected. Lashley was dominating at first. Styles was bumping around for him like crazy. Miz and Champa showed up eventually to watch on. And then they do a commercial spot where, oh no, Miz is going to attack Styles. And then Dexter Lumis shows up and tumbles over, and then security attacks him, and then they didn't knock Corey around. God, more than the pity. It would have been great to have Corey Graves knocked off of TV forever, because nobody wants Corey Graves there. They haven't shown Carmella lately. That's good. They need to show women that can actually wrestle. So anyway, yeah, gone by security, and oh, it was such a shoot. The idea is that he got fired, he's unleashed, he's unhinged, he wants revenge. Some people have said, oh, he's going to show people the way. They bring the way to Raw. That's going to take Raw's quality from here to there. Because there were some people that liked the way. I didn't. That said, back to this match. They kept the pace up. Some good near falls. The calf crusher and the transition into the hurt lock was beautiful. That was well done. It did go a couple minutes too long. Especially since AJ was going to take the pin. Big spear, 1, 2, 3, and Lashley retains. Good stuff. And then Dakota Kai beat Dana in a match that lasted 3 times longer than it needed to. Dana tries. Oh my God, does she try, but Dakota should have beaten her quicker. It was what it was. And Dana fighting for the veterans. I did find that line kind of funny. It's not that Dana hasn't been wrestling for a while, but Dakota wrestled for a number of years before WWE. And Corey tried to make it like, he's always been on Dakota Kai's side. He never has been until recently. And I know this about Bayley. Not even cargo pants can hide that. She just looks amazing. I like this Bayley as a manager or wrestler / manager. I think her being able to talk for EO is good. Not that EO's English isn't bad. Bayley can just be a good mouthpiece for her. EO says, and Dakota is also, I'm glad to see Dakota back. She seems motivated, and they seem to have a right to use her. So, next week, Priest versus Edge. Io and Dakota versus Asuka and Alexa. Please let Alexa take the pin, aka the least talented one in that quartet. Theory versus Ziggler. This is the main event I noticed. This was a match and Theory won, and nothing happened. There you go. I don't expect everything to be perfect. You can't do 52 home runs on Raw. You can't even do 2 home runs on NXT anymore because I don't think NXT can get out of the fucking infield how bad it is. I am not looking forward to Heatwave. But nevertheless, SmackDown has been better. Gunther versus Nakamura was pretty damn good. But that being said, they got issues. But as Terry Taylor said during the Monday Night Wars piece, there's a rebuilding period and it's more than 3 months. I don't care who you are and what you're doing. This started, what, right at SummerSlam? Let's just say right at SummerSlam. That was the push. It's probably going to take till, I would say, Mania. Like, seriously, to undo a lot of the bullshit from Vince, they got to get rid of Bruce Pritchard. They got to get rid of fucking Kevin Dunn. They probably won't get rid of Dunn for a while, but get another producer there and do something right. That being said, they're doing more things right than they're not doing right. I ain't drinking the Triple H Kool-Aid, probably because it's laced like the Jim Jones stuff, but at least Triple H understands how to present wrestlers as such, instead of as cartoon characters. Now, if only that could happen in NXT, and we get that bullshit taken care of. But nevertheless, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.